The area of a rectangular wall of a barn is 64 square feet. Its length is 8 feet longer than twice its width. Find the length and width of the wall of the barn. So since the problem says that we're working with a rectangle, we're going to go ahead and draw that shape. So here's our rectangle. We have a length and we have a width. We're told that the area of the rectangle is 64 square feet. We know that for a rectangle, area equals length times width. So A equals L times W. In the problem, we're told that the length is, so when we see this word is, we know that's an equal sign, 8 feet longer. So we're going to be adding 8 feet, then twice the width. So to write that out, the length is, so length equals 8 feet longer, so something, we're adding 8 to some value, and the value is twice the width, so we're going to call that 2W. Now we can substitute this back in our problem. We're asked to find the length and width of the wall of the barn. So we know area, based on the given information, area is 64 feet squared. So in our formula, we're going to put A is 64. Our length, we're going to put what we were told length is equivalent to. Length is equivalent to 2W plus 8. So we're going to say that 64 equals, the length we'll put is 2W plus 8, then times W. We will now distribute our W and then solve for W. So if we distribute W into the binomial, we have 64 is equal to 2W squared plus 8W. We have a quadratic, so what we'll need to do, since our highest power is 2, we'll move everything to one side and try to factor. So in order to do that, we're subtracting the 64 to the right-hand side. Solving by factoring, we first need to factor out the greatest common factor. So if we factor out the GCF, which is 2, we end up with 2 times the quantity W squared plus 4W minus 32. Now we're ready to factor that trinomial. So if we factor the trinomial, we have 0 is equal to 2 times. Factor out, we have a W times a W. Then we're looking for numbers that multiply to give us negative 32 and at the same time add to give us positive 4. So we're going to use 8 and negative 4. So a positive 8 and a negative 4. We'll now solve this equation. So we will take each factor that has our variable in it and we'll set it equal to 0. So W plus 8 equals 0. W minus 4 equals 0. So we end up with W equals negative 8 and W equals 4. Now, negative 8 is not an option because we're looking at the width and we can't have a negative width. So we will take the width is 4 and we're measuring in feet. So our width is 4 feet. Now the problem asks us, if we look back up at our problem, it asks us to find the length and the width. Well, what we found is the width, if we look back up at our problem, over here we have stated that the length is 2W plus 8. So we'll go back into this equation. L equals 2 times what we found for W, which is 4, plus 8. So we end up with L equals 8 plus 8. So L is equal to 16 feet. So what we have found is that the length is 16 feet and the width is 4 feet.